Hey, it's Tpok, and I am in Josiah. No idea what this game is about. I also don't know if there's music. I can't hear any. Is there? Yeah? Sounds all the way up. So there's not, at least right now. Okay, new game. This game contains content not suitable for minors. Uh-oh. Chipped tooth. That's sad. It must be painful. You'll always have me. Somewhere in the darkness of the circumpolar north, a man wrestles with a life unlived. Josiah prodded the embers with his last piece decent burnable firewood. With his last piece of decent burnable firewood. Ah! What was that? There, now it's really burning. The fire was casting a light over the shimmering, iridescent walls of the ice cave. It was creating an intricate dance between wavelengths of color. Unfortunately, it did nothing to calm Josiah's nerves. He was safely tucked far enough into the cave to be safe from the raging elements outside. But it could be days, maybe even weeks, before the storm passed through. It was his oppressor, his captor. Ah, so? What is that noise? Ah! This is it then. Josiah had become so accustomed to speaking his thoughts out loud. But his voice, like everything else, felt as if it existed someplace hundreds of miles away. It made it hard to absorb the gravity of the situation. His body was also devoid of any warmth in his chest. He was disconnected from it, as if the factory inside him that created his life energy had simply frozen over. He held his makeshift fire poker to the flame, letting the flame slowly catch on. He was teasing the fire like it was a pet, dangling its treat, the slice of timber just out of its reach. The flame's hunger grew. Josiah relinquished the branch to the fire. It was out of his hands now. Everything was out of his hands now. There was nothing left to do but close his eyes. Somehow, even though his body was exhausted, his brain was buzzing. He knew that once he fell asleep, there were only two possible outcomes. Either he would open his eyes to a cold world so completely devoid of light and warmth, or he wouldn't. At this point, he would prefer that over watching the fire dwindle away alongside him. The music sounds really familiar. I don't know what it reminds me of, though. The crackling of the flames somehow made Josiah feel anxious. The feeling became a lump in his stomach, keeping him awake. He thought for a moment how to punctuate his life. The breath he took to speak felt especially icy. His voice was filled with compassion, as if he were soothing a beloved. He listened to the sound of his own voice carefully, drinking up the weight of the two syllables. Good night. Okay, what is up with that? I'm gonna save. Options. Is that sound volume? I don't know, but whenever he says something, it does that sound. With that, he felt an even greater detachment from the world around him, the world he had laid claim to. It felt as if the ground underneath him was slowly sinking in, swallowing him up and delivering back into the womb of the world. A sound pierces through the dark. It's enough to instantly crash his ethereal plane back into reality. Someone was there. Josiah's eyes shot open and his body tensed. His first reflex was to stay quiet, as if he were the only one guilty of trespassing. Hello? Is someone there? Hello. Why are you in the cave? He turned to the bend of the cave that led out to the entrance. He instantly locked eyes with a beautiful young woman who was gingerly peeking at him from around the corner. His eyes were silently tracing the few parts of her he could see. Her almond-shaped eyes painted with equal parts hazel and nervousness. her coal black hair frozen and wild from the snow. It's snowing and you're dressed like that? She was real. She was a real girl. How are you not dead? Are you sure she's real? Josiah's brain chugged and stuttered, trying to computate how to react. Hello. I am a polar bear. I did not know that. Oh my god, a bear! The girl filled her lungs to capacity, then let loose a drawn-out, ear-splitting shriek. Josiah hates this kind of reaction. He can't help but fidget nervously. Don't be afraid of me. Josiah's words were failing to pierce through the wall of screeching the girl was pushing towards him. Please. Why are you talking? You're a bear. That's not right. It's not okay. Not at all. Full power alone was capable of making something cease to exist. Josiah would be doomed. The girl broke down and started blubbering. She kept sputtering variations of the words bears can't talk. But what? I'm not like other bears. The girl was obviously at her wit's end. Despite her lively reaction, it was apparent she was half frozen. Her tight-fitting, exposing garb was unfit for traveling in the snowscape outside, even in the best of its conditions. She probably wouldn't have lasted another hour in the storm. The girl's muscles were tightened and shaking. Her body was in defensive mode. The last of her adrenaline reserves must be the only thing keeping her standing. However, her fight-or-flight response had kept her feet planted, as opposed to retreating back into the death sentence awaiting outside. Wah-bleo-woo-wee. The softest light she had been seen seeping from the mouth of the cave was merely a cruel trick. A trick to build up her hopes for safety and refuge, and then shatter them. The tense moment seemed to go on forever. Josiah can only grimace as the girl cries her eyes out. He tries to move the interaction forward. Do you smell up, dog? Don't worry, you're safe, is what I'm gonna go with. Or maybe? I don't know. They all seem like, because I mean that's like friendly-ish. It's kind of weird. Don't worry, you're safe. There. It's okay. I won't hurt you. I'm not even hungry. Dang it, that came out wrong. Come on, Josiah, what were you thinking? Though if he ate her, that would make the obnoxious crying stop. The girl falls to her rear like a marionette having its strings cut. She doubles over, wrapping her arms around herself while slobbering. Josiah worries if she's in physical pain. However, she was finally starting to quiet down. It would seem that the last of her reserves were going to give out. The sobbing became softer and softer. Good night. Did she just die? Did I lose? It took the girl a moment to come back to her senses. Through the flames of the fire, she saw the obsidian eyes of a bear locked onto her. Josiah remained quiet. The girl had stirred and murmured in her sleep a few times, so he couldn't be sure if she was actually awake this time. He was looking into her reddened eyes and noticing the gears behind them starting to turn again. Her soft lips pulled back weariedly at the sight of Josiah, enough to show a flash of ivory. Was she about to start crying again? Josiah already felt a headache coming on, thinking of those high-pitched squeals echoing in the chamber around them. Josiah? The girl's voice trembled out. I am Josiah. Josiah had used the opportunity to calm his nerves and regain control of his volume. He got nervous talking to strangers, especially women. The girl moved a delicate hand to her eye, wiping at the dried salty tears that adorned them. She took another moment to look at him and sniffed. She slowly began to nod her head as if The reality of the situation was caught in her throat, and she was trying to force a swallow. Emily. The way she cast out her name, it was as if it had no longer any value. It was a thing which meant nothing anymore. Josiah quietly parroted her name under his breath. Emily somberly nodded to confirm that he had indeed heard correctly. Josiah couldn't think of what to say. They sat there in silence. Emily began to take in the rest of the cave. There was nothing noteworthy outside of a few icicles hanging from the ceiling and a path leading off to darkness. The air was frozen and heavy. It didn't help that every breath she drew, she felt she was swallowing the musky, earthy scent of the bear. Nice place. Thanks, you too. He hoped she didn't hear his nervous stammering over the sound of the fire. Emmy glanced back to the fire, then lowered her gaze and pressed her soft lips together. Am I dead? There was a pause. Josiah seemed to actually consider. No, at least as long as I'm not dead also. Though he continued to wonder. Why was this girl here? What was she doing out in the storm? Only a while ago he had resigned his life, but now he could feel his blood moving again. Hot red blood moving through every vein of his body. Another moment passed. It seemed that Emily was all out of talk and it was his turn. Are you cold? Hey, if you're cold... Josiah slowed himself down, thinking it through and bolstering his courage. Emily was looking back at him. Maybe I was gonna say go to the fire. Maybe we should move closer together. I'm okay. That was a fast response. Emily looked over at the bear's wet fur, which was caked in cold mud. The smell of him she was getting from over here was already plenty enough. She repeated, I'm okay. But... No. But thank you, though. That's what I like about you, Emily. So who are you? Emily seems to hesitate for a moment. She sits up and pulls her knees to her chest. I don't really know what to say. I came here with my boyfriend. Josiah's heart cracked inaudibly. He shrank away from the words. Despite this, he was still listening, partially. Emily went on to explain that she was with the wildlife conservation group and was helping to investigate reports of poachers who were targeting beluga whales. Josiah thought about whales. It'd been a while since the last time he had a good whale. Warm winds caused the storm to shift. We were wide out in the open. Our only chance was to try and make it back. The buttery, juicy fat being squeezed down in his teeth. Yeah, whale was the bomb. Josiah checked in on the story again, but the word boyfriend came up. He checked out again. That's not very nice. Why do women always feel the need to go on about their boyfriends? There was this horrible howling for hours. He lost interest. Josiah started to try to think of ways to get her to stop talking. Dragged away by the wolves, especially, absolutely powerless to stop them. Emily paused for a moment, cupping her face in her hands, as if to try to shield her eye from what she was seeing. Josiah perked up a bit, but he couldn't completely mask the tinge of hopefulness that colored his concern. Your boyfriend was eaten by wolves? What? No, I was the one being dragged away by wolves. He just took off. Emily combed her fingers into her hair as if giving herself a reassuring pat. I managed to get loose by wriggling free of my jumpsuit, but they surrounded me. I was only able to scare them off by... Are you still together? Josiah, come on, man. What? Are you and your boyfriend still together? What is... No, I guess not. Emily's incredulous expression couldn't suppress the soft smile Josiah had. I'm sorry you're sad. Hey, I know things are rough, but If you ever need anyone to talk to... Dude, Josiah, you just totally checked out of her conversation. Emily smiles. Even if it's a painfully manual smile, it's still nice to see. If you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm here. Thanks, that's sweet. No problem. You know, you're actually pretty easy to talk to. Emily stretches her smile more. You're not like those other girls, you know the kind. Emily tilts her head a bit, still keeping the pained smile up. I gotta say, it's cool, because she blinks every now and again. That makes it more interesting, I guess. With those girls, it's always about what you can do for them, you know? Emily noticed a distant look about Josiah. They have to be in control of the whole situation. But do they take any of the responsibility? It's not my job to take care of your whole life, lady, you know? Haha. But then when you finally lower your guard, and you give them the key to your kingdom, the kingdom of your heart, they just throw it all away, and then they're gone. That's what your trust is worth. So there you are, a shattered individual with nothing left. And what are you supposed to do? Man up? That's what your reaction is supposed to be. Just forget the fact that you're a living, breathing human and let it go. Human being? Josiah looks to Emily across the flames, who can do nothing to disguise how mortified she is. Josiah swings his head away to sulk in himself. Feminism is a sham. What? Okay. How do you feel about me? A pause stretches on for a while. Josiah is the one to put break the quiet atmosphere. Emily, I want to ask you something. Emily was holding her hands to the fire. The fire was still filling the cave with plenty of light, though the warmth left something to be desired. Okay? She responded without looking at Josiah. Josiah slowly laid on his side, holding his head up with a paw. He was displaying his body enticingly towards Emily. Okay. Wow. I like this. This is funny. What do you think about me? Emily blinks a few times in thought. Her breath seemed to get a little heavier. You mean like... well... She looked down to her hands and played with her fingers as she pondered how to answer. I think you're nice. I mean, I was certain the moment I saw you, well, you were gonna eat me. I'm still not totally grappling with everything that's transpired. It's been a long, strange day. Still punctuated with the thought, and just with a small... Still punctuated the... She punctuated the thought with a small smile. However, she looked at Josiah, and it was as she feared. He was fully expecting her to continue. I mean, well, like I said, you're a really sweet guy, and I'm glad we're friends. Josiah just got friend-zoned. Friends. He repeated, friends. Josiah shrunk away a bit. Josiah was just contemplating if he was okay with death, and now he's like, there's this girl here. I understand. Josiah, are you crying? I'm sorry. It's nothing you did. Ah, jeez. Josiah's soft whimper sounded more like a huge beast in agony, because in the end, that's what he was. I'm just so tired of it always ending this way. I don't understand. I'm a nice guy. Josiah hides his face in his paws, his voice now muffled. I try so hard to be a better person. Every time his whimpers and cries seemed to let up, he would recall another tragic memory, which would open the floodgates again. Emily was at a loss for words. There were 450 pounds of pathetic waste in front of her. But somehow... I'm so tired of being alone. Why does everyone else get to have someone, but I don't? Emily shifts her weight and sits on her knees, calmly and sympathetically folding her hands in her lap. She softly bites her bottom lip. My whole stupid life has been a waste. Now I'm going to die a kissless virgin. Won't even have a chance to hold a girl. Oh no, don't do this now. Suddenly the bear whipped around to glare at Emily. His voice boomed and echoed through all the corners of the cave. I'm going to eat you. What? This escalated very quickly. Emily flinched. However, when she looked back to Josiah, it wasn't a look of intimidation, but of indignation. She knew it was an empty threat. What? Seriously? You can't just eat people because they won't sleep with you. Josiah let his failure sink in for a moment, before he returned to his pity party. Why can't I ever have anything I want? You women are all the same. You always talk about how you want a nice guy, then you treat us like dirt. Just once, huh? Just once. Why can't someone care about me? Josiah turned to a corner of the cave and hung his head. He just couldn't stop the tears. That feeling was back. Josiah knew this feeling. He was dying. He could feel the earth sinking beneath him. But again, something reached out to him. The skin on his back flinched and rustled his fur as a small, cold hand was gently placed on him. Okay, Josiah. What? Don't consent to this. Let's do it. What? What? I'm scared. Josiah looked behind him, but was only able to catch a glimpse of the determined look in the woman's eyes. It was the look of a person ready to roll up their sleeves and get a dirty job over with. What? Josiah's mouth moved like a fish gasping for air as the tiny girl turned him around and pushed his back against the wall. Still not completely able to properly react, Josiah left his hands floating off to either side, as the girl straddled her small frame against him. What? Her legs wrapped around his hips and locked on while she sat in his lap. Her body was pressed tight against his. He could feel the warmth, the kind that only another person could give, starting to seep through his cold, matted fur. But why? He was looking to her for answers, but she kept her face buried against his chest. She stayed silent, arms and legs wrapped around him like some sort of parasitic xenomorph, but in an endearing way. Josiah had never had someone hold on to him like this. They had only met today, but it felt like she was trying to keep him here with all her strength, that the world could never pull them apart. Josiah's heart was beating out of his chest. With each heavy breath he took, Emily's form rose and fell against him. Her very scent was lifting his mind to new heights. She smelled like a combination of sweet sweat, fresh laundry, and an inexplicable sweet scent that only the body of a woman could produce. Okay. The scent seeped into the deepest part of Josiah's being. It was euphoria-inducing. Emily's fingers pulled at his back. It's okay, Josiah. I'll teach you. What? Her face finally lifted to meet his. You can't learn unless someone teaches you. Emily's hand reaches up and lovingly holds Josiah's hand. Oh, jeez. That's my reaction to this. As Emily draws her face to his, Josiah actually has to consciously not pull away. Is this really happening? Emily's lips connect to Josiah's. Now her tongue is in his mouth. A girl's tongue. It's so soft. Before he can figure out what to do on his end, she breaks away, moving her mouth to his ear. Her hot breath floods his rounded, fluffy ear. We're gonna do it. Even if I can't fit it in, I'll use my mouth. Okay. This game needs a better summary before I download it. I'll put the summary in the description. It's not like this. Oh god. What? Oh god, that's loud. Jeez. Oh, okay. Emily lunged forward suddenly, lashing her teeth to his chest. Josiah shrieks and convulses beneath the girl's small frame. What are you doing? Every muscle on Josiah's body went tense from the pain. Emily spoke without releasing the bear. There was a hint of sadism to her muffled voice. It's been a very long day, Josiah. I've been abandoned, chewed on, frozen, and hit on by a polar bear. Don't blame me if this has all made me a little unhinged. I think I'm bleeding. Just shut up and let me blow off some steam, okay? Try as he might, Josiah couldn't think clearly. Emily's interjection of pleasure and pain washed over him. Josiah's will was finally giving in. She melted like butter under the dominance of the woman, whose entire body weight was a quarter of his own. Okay. Emily leaned back. She was looking at Josiah like he was a piece of cheesecake. She flashed her ivory fangs in a grin. As she fiddled with her bra, she let out a breathy, absent-minded chuckle. Josiah's eyes flickered between Emily's eyes, teeth, and her body. His mouth hung open in shock and awe. Eyes, teeth, body, eyes, teeth, body. Her pale skin was bathed in the orange light of the fire. So smooth. Emily's demeanor was a combination of hot and cold, like geothermal heat melting snow into a hot spring. Pressure was building. Josiah had lost all ability for metaphors. Emily spoke in a seductive hiss. So, what do you think? Do you like it, Josiah? Do you want to see that? This is all too much for Josiah. It had never been like this before. Not in the simulations he ran through his mind. Isn't the girl supposed to just kind of lay there while the guy does the work? And what was with the way she was talking? Isn't that too rude? He had to be the one in charge. He had to fight back. But his eyes couldn't break away from Emily's chest, and as she fiddled with the hook of her brassiere, Josiah's heart skipped a beat. This was it. The big reveal. I'm getting a erection. What is up with this? This feeling, the feeling that he was feeling now, it was the opposite. It was the opposite of the feeling of dying. Even though it made his body and mind weak, it was still the polar opposite. This time he was going up. Again, something there was there to snap him out of it. Son, you in here? Is that you? What? Both bodies broke apart and whipped their full attention to the disruption. Another polar bear has arrived from the dark corridor of the cave. Josiah screeches in humiliation. Dad, no! Oh my. Emily's jaw is completely dropped. Oh, what happened? Emily's jaw is completely dropped. She's absolutely dumbfounded. With a small shriek, she realizes she had left herself exposed. She covers herself up with her arm. Josiah goes limp and slumps to the side. His stomach is a bottomless pit. I love the mustache. Josiah, you have a friend, and it's a girl. Hello there, young lady. I'm Josiah's father. Nice to meet you, sir. Emily blushed widely, but seems to be trying to keep an air of nonchalance. The older bear seems oblivious to what he walked in on, but is beaming with pride. Hold on. Let me get Mother. Mother, come here. Josiah's friend is here. It's a girl. An excited coo can be heard coming from behind the father bear. Mother was on the way. Dang it, Dad! You have that novelty mustache. Oh, come on, son. Just a little bit of El Humoro Classico. Ha 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 ha. This isn't happening. Josiah felt detached yet again. But this time it was in no direction. This isn't real. What's that, son? Aren't you going to introduce me to your friend? I'm Emily. It's so nice to meet you, Emily. Oh, son, I'm so happy. And so relieved. You always seem so lonely, son. You're always by yourself. And, well, for a while there, your mother and I were kind of starting to think that... We were starting to think that you might be gay. Okay. It fell off. I wake up calmly looking at the ceiling. My body's cold but soaked in sweat. The same damn dream again. That's the third time this month. My name is Josiah. I'm 32. I'm a freelance photographer. I'm married, no kids yet, but we're trying. I think I'll take a shower. That tends to calm my nerves. I feel grungy with all the sweat on me anyway. My shifting to get out of bed causes my wife to pull closer to me. Josiah, what's wrong? She's still half asleep. It's nothing, hon. I just had that dream again. Which one? The one where Dad is still alive. Oh, man. Emily's eyes slowly open. She wraps an arm around me to get leverage and pulls herself against me. I can feel her soft, warm breasts pressing against my arm through her thin silk negligee. I don't know how to say that word. Oh, sweetie, don't feel lonely. You have me. You'll always have me. Weirdest story ever. What? Oh, okay. That was good, though. I mean, it was really funny. Did not see any of that in the preview video. Like, the only screenshot was of just this. And I was like, that's pretty good drawing. So it's, and I gotta agree, all the drawings in this were good. Oh, well, they were only of Emily, I guess. But, yeah. Oh, is this going? Still going? Honey? Okay. They got married. I don't know what to do. Wake up. Oh, man. So that was Josiah. Yeah. That was funny. So yeah, this was Short Novel Sunday, once again. And, sorry I haven't had videos, like, for the past couple days. I've just been busy with, classes and tests and scheduling for next semester, and... yeah, sorry. Oh, for next weekend... not next weekend, for next week, like, Thanksgiving-ish, I probably won't have much. I think I'll just have some contrast videos up. Yeah. Like, I'll have... until Friday, it will be normal. But yeah. Otherwise, after that, the whole Thanksgiving week's gonna be weird because I'll be with family and everything, so I don't really know what I'm gonna have out. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Oh, Josiah. Yeah, really weird, but anyways, see you next time.